Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hey, Shravan, right?
Yes, yes, Shravan.
Hey, Shravan. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Okay, Shravan. So, give me a. Yes, Shravan, you are audible.
Oh,
Okay, Shravan. So, give me a minute. I'm just trying to pull out your profile. Give me a
okay,
minute.
okay.
And meanwhile, you can start with your introduction.
Yes, yes, sure. So basically, this is Shravan. So I have 4 years of experience as a DevOps engineer. So I work with TechWasa based out of Hyderabad. In these 4 years, I have experience and I have worked on different tools like Git, Maven, SonarQube, Nexus, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, and I implemented all these things on top of AWS infra. So basically, so our last project is a M1 self-care project.
Okay.
Okay.
And could you also brief me about the different tools that you have worked on?
Yes, as I told, like Git, Jenkins, SonarCube, Nexus, and Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, little bit.
Okay, okay. And could you also brief me about your day-to-day activities?
So like for any project like from scratch, we will be creating uh, AWS VPC infra, basic infra like VPC creation and launching EC2 instances and CloudWatch alarms and guard duties and basic thing, SNS. For on top of that, we will be implementing the CI/CD pipelines by using Jenkins. So our latest project is based on EKS project. So I'll be writing I written some manifest files to deploy the containers on top of the EKS cluster. And so we have a pod system. So in our pod, we'll be getting different tasks to some of the project we'll be implementing. We work as an implementation team. Some of the project we are working as a manager service. So we will be giving the backend services, like if anything goes down or if anything have any tickets have given, so I'll be look into them, like if any pod issues or node issues or if any any case cluster any issues have happening, so I'll be look into them.
Okay, okay, okay. So you did mention about Kubernetes, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
can you explain me the architecture of Kubernetes?
surely, surely. So, so am I audible clearly, right? So actually, I'm some jittering is there, like I'm losing here and there. So you asked about Kubernetes cluster, right? Kubernetes architecture, right?
Correct, correct, yes.
Okay. So the Kubernetes has two components mainly. The it has a worker component and the uh, master component. So the worker, the master has different components like API server. API server, it acts as a front end for the cluster. So the API server takes the instructions from the kubectl. So kubectl, which is Kubernetes CLI, from which we give the instruction to the Kubernetes cluster. So kubectl talk to the API server. API server acts as a front end, and in master we have like a etcd API scheduler and controller. All these components run on top of a container runtime. So it could be containerd or Docker or RKT. So the scheduler will schedule the parts on top of the given nodes which are in the which are in the particular cluster. And the control manager, it does basic controlling job. It is responsible for replication controller, node controller. Basic controlling job will be done by the controller. And we have etcd. So the etcd, it acts as a data store. So it basically it store all the objects, all the all the services information, all the pods information, where a particular pod has been stored. And so all this particular kind of data will be stored in the etcd. And in worker node we have a kubelet, kube proxy. So the kubelet is like a agent for the worker, the master node. So it will take the instruction from the control manager and scheduler, and it does a basic agenting job. And we have kube proxy. The kube proxy, it is responsible for the basic networking, uh, all the networking policies and routing policies, which need to be done in the worker node. So the container, worker node also need to run on top of container, the container runtime. So it could be container d or docker or rkt. Hello.
Okay, okay. And do you know what is a namespace?
Yes, a namespace is like the logical isolation of resources, like so actually, logical isolation, if the clusters, we can create one namespace for monitoring, we can create one namespace for clusters, we can create one namespaces. So the logical isolation of resources is called namespaces.
Okay, okay. And do you have experience in working with ingress controllers?
Yes, yes. For Kubernetes, when we want to work with microservices infrastructure, so each microservices has its own DNS name. Like it could be host based routing or path based routing. So like the ingress controller sits after the ELB. If we have ingress rules YAML file. So in that ingress rule YAML file, we specify what service need to talk to the which DNS service. And so now we have a host based and path based routing. So if you want to create each load balancer for each DNS service, so it could be a very costly, very cost effective. If we go with the ingress controller, so it could be more beneficial for us.
Okay, okay. Uh, just a minute, Shravan, give me a minute.
Okay, okay. Give me the portal.
Oh, okay, Shravan. So, do you have experience in writing Docker files?
Docker files, Docker compute.
Docker files, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
So when we write these Docker files, right, we normally provide certain instructions, correct?
yes, yes, yes.
So there is something called entry point and CMD. Do you know what's the difference between them?
Yes, the entry point is like so in Docker files, we have like we can specify many CMD points, CMD instructions. So even though how many CMD instructions we specify, only the last CMD will be will executed. Here the CMD can be overridden, and the entry point cannot be overridden. The CMD can be used as an argument for entry point.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And see, I have a container which is already running,
Okay.
and I need to get inside that running container. Then what's the command that I would use?
Okay, you can use Docker exect-it in internal intermediate mode, and you can use the that container name, so you can get into that container. Docker exec -it.
Okay, okay. And why do we use hyphen IT?
Hyphen IT in interactive mode to, so once we get, once we press Control C, we can uh, get come out of the container. So IT means interactive mode.
Okay, okay. Okay, how about your experience with the monitoring tools?
Monitoring tools I have, for one of the project, we got one requirement, so I created so I installed Prometheus and Grafana by using the Helm charts. So the dashboards and all I did not configure, but so we have like a, I have created entire, the in particular monitoring namespace, and I installed everything and I configure, and I hand over it to the admin team, so they have take care. But the dashboards, the Grafana dashboards, I did not work much.
Okay, okay, okay. And how about your experience with Jenkins?
Yes, I created from the project manifest. Sorry, the, in declarative way I created pipelines.
Okay. Uh, so, can you explain me, say, for example, I mean, when a developer commits the code into the Git repository, how does it reach production? What are the
Yes.
different stages or phases it passes through?
Yes. So for that we have whenever a code commit has been into the Git, so we have used GitHub webhook. So the Git let us know that Jenkins, so there is a updated code in my repository. You can push it. So the GitHub webhook will let the Jenkins. So from there, it the, the CI/CD flow starts. After that, we have different stages, like, get the source code from the get the code from the source code stage. So it will get the source code from the CM, and on top of that, after that, it will build that by using Maven or something, any plugin. So we have used Maven plugin, and after that, so we have used the Sonar Cube. So Sonar Cube will does basic code quality management, code coverage thing. And in Sonar Cube we have quality profiles and quality gates. So whenever the source code quality, like, the quality gate has reached 85% or the 90%, then the particular code is ready to push from Q developer in developer environment to the Q environment. And after that we will be push that particular the particular build file into the uh, Nexus repository. So on top of that, we have we have integrated the Docker with it. So by taking that, we have the Docker file. So from the Docker file, it will get the instructions and it will build that Docker file. Docker file into the Docker images. The Docker images will be pushed into the ECR, or sometimes it will be pushed into the Nexus. So we have integrated Kubernetes deploy plugin. So the Kubernetes deploy plugin will get the whatever the images we have pushed into that particular ECR. So it will get that image and it will fetch that Kubernetes YAML file, and it will run that YAML file, and it will so in that manifest file we have the deployment object. So in that deployment object we have used uh, rolling update type. I mean to say the deployment type is rolling update. So from that manifest file, the updated code will be deployed into the uh, the underlying the Kubernetes cluster. So this is basic. We have one of the
Okay,
project. We have this particular flow, CACD and flow.
okay, okay. And how about your experience with Git?
Yes, I worked on Git.
Okay. So in Git, there is a command called git rebase. Do you know what does it do?
Yes, Git rebase will merge one branch with another branch. In So it just acts like a merge, but in merge, but in git rebase, what are all the committed will be preserved, and every committed will be every committed will be preserved, and it will be moved from one branch to another branch. So whereas in git merge, all the code will be just merged. So in git rebase, the committed data will be preserved.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, and how about your experience with automation or scripting languages?
Automation as such, I did not much extensively. I have shell script knowledge.
Okay, okay. And okay, got it. Uh, and how about your experience on cloud?
Yes, I have experience. I have used AWS for most of my infrastructure as a tool, infrastructure purpose. I have experience on AWS only.
Okay. And what are the different AWS services that you have worked on?
I worked on EC2, VPC, Route 53, and a little bit EC2 auto scaling, and ASGs, load balancing, S3s.
Okay, okay.
So we have like
Okay, let me let yeah, please continue. Yeah.
I mean to say, I was going to say, like, we have a dedicated cloud team, so greenfield implementation. So though they were taking, they have all the administration access. So we have so for one of the some of the resource, we have some full access, EC2 and VPC, some basic things, and most of the times they have admin full access. So like the IAM, we have restricted in our IAM policies. So that's what I was going to say. Yes, yes. Sorry to disturb.
Okay, okay. Okay, so in Dockers, right?
Yes.
Mm, See, I wanted to write a Docker file that would install Git and Jenkins on a particular Linux server. And then once the installation is completed, I want to start my Jenkins instance. So can you tell me how to write this?
Okay, you want to install install Git, right? So for that we can use run command or cmd command to, like, run on which server, Ubuntu or Linux?
Linux.
Okay, for that we can run yum install git hyphen y. Uh, After that, git and git, you want to install Git and Jenkins, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Also, we can Jenkins. Jenkins has a it has a prerequisite of Java. So for that we can use run like a Java install sorry, yum install jre hyphen Java hyphen jre hyphen 8. And on top of that, we can install Java. So Jenkins installation is a bit complex, so it needs some packages as well. So we can use run command to install Jenkins as well.
Okay, okay.
So on top of that, we can use a cmd command. So systemctl start Jenkins as a service.
Okay, okay. Okay, and how about your experience with Ansible or Terraform?
Ansible, and I did not work much. So Terraform also I did not work much. So for one of the project, I created VPCs and RDS. So I just get into the Terraform.io documentation. I actually, I kind of I just copy the code, and I did some POC and it worked very well. But I know bit how the Terraform plan and the Terraform init, Terraform init and destroy commands work, how the tf.state file works. And beyond this, I have no expertise on this. To be frankly, I did not work much on this. So I have just basic knowledge.
Okay. Okay, Shravan. So I think I'm done from my end unless you have any questions for me.
As of now, I'm good. But for which location you're looking for this particular position?
Uh, Actually, this is for multiple locations. So I think once you reach the HR round, you can get more clarity. So this is for multiple locations.
Sure, sure, sure. And like one more thing, like okay, look, I will be intimated, like if I get selected for further round. Like actually, I don't have any contact number, HR or anyone. So, so the calling numbers also from US, I guess. So plus one, I'm getting the calls from there only. So I could not reach them. I could not revert to them. If at all, if any update is there, like do let me know by tomorrow or something.
So once we shortlist you, right, you'll get a call from us directly. So
Sure.
no need to worry.
Sure, sure, yeah, sure. That is for sure. But I know I don't have anyone to call, like to get the update. So that's what I was going to say.
No, no, that's okay. You're not required. We'll get back to you.
Sure, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Thank you so much, Shravan. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. This leave more.